There are cars that get faster, and then there are cars that get angry. Real chest-thumping, pavement-splitting, eardrum-assaulting angry. The kind of angry that makes bystanders step back from the curb without fully understanding why. The kind of angry that rewrites the definition of what an American muscle car is allowed to be. Ford has built fast Mustangs before. They've built loud ones. They've built ones that made headlines and won track days and broke hearts at stoplight drag races from Detroit to Dallas. But nothing in 50 years of Shelby GT500 history has prepared the world for what just came out of Dearborn. 800 horsepower, a supercharger the size of a carry-on bag, and a sound that belongs on a different planet entirely. This is the 2027 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, and it is the most violent thing Ford has ever put a license plate on. Before we go into the details, and every detail of this car deserves its own chapter, let's just frame what 800 horsepower actually means in a rear-wheel drive American muscle car in 2027. It means that tires are in a constant negotiation with physics that they are not always winning. It means the 0 to 60 time has entered territory that was reserved for European hypercars a decade ago. It means the quarter mile disappears in a number so low it reads like a misprint. It means Ford's engineers spent 3 years solving problems that didn't exist until they created them by making this car so powerful that the previous generation solutions simply stopped working. And it means that somewhere in the Arizona desert, during high-speed testing that Ford has only partially disclosed, a prototype ran a top speed that made the test driver go very quiet for a long moment before picking up the radio. We'll get to that number, but first, let's talk about what this thing looks like. The 2027 GT500 does not look like a car that is trying to be aggressive. It looks like a car that has already decided. The distinction matters. Cars that try to look aggressive add things, wings, vents, scoops, graphics, and the result is effort made visible. The new GT500 begins with the 7th generation Mustang's already muscular foundation, and then subjects it to a transformation so thorough and so purposeful that the base car is barely recognizable underneath. The body is wider, significantly wider. Ford's engineers added 52 millimeters to the front track and 44 to the rear, accommodating the massive rubber that this powertrain demands and giving the GT500 a planted, wide-hipped stance that reads as aggressive from every angle and downright intimidating from directly behind. The front fenders are unique to this car, flared, sculpted, and ventilated with functional heat extraction outlets positioned to pull hot air directly from behind the front wheels, reducing brake temperatures under track conditions by a figure Ford's thermal engineers describe as meaningful. The front fascia is a complete departure from any production Mustang before it. The lower splitter is a single-piece carbon fiber construction, not a decorative addition, but a genuine aerodynamic device, generating measurable downforce at speed and managing airflow beneath the car with a precision previously seen only in purpose-built track machinery. The grille opening is enormous, calibrated to the cooling demands of an engine producing heat at a scale that requires serious airflow management, and framed in a blacked-out surround that makes the entire front end look like it's inhaling. The hood is a sculpture. A raised center section accommodates the supercharger below it. The bulge is not stylistic, it is dimensional necessity, and Ford's designers turned that constraint into an asset so effectively that the hood became one of the most talked-about design elements in the car's pre-launch period. Heat extractor vents sit forward of the windscreen on both sides, functioning at speed to draw thermal energy up and out of the engine bay. Carbon fiber trim rings the openings. The GT500 rondelle sits at the leading edge of the hood in a brushed aluminum surround. The side profile carries a character line that runs from the front wheel arch to the rear quarter in a single uninterrupted sweep, rising slightly as it travels rearward, creating a visual tension that makes the car look like it's accelerating even at standstill. Side skirts are body-colored on standard builds and carbon fiber on the carbon fiber track pack, a configuration that adds approximately 30 pounds of visible carbon to the exterior and generates enough visual drama to cause problems in parking lots. The rear quarter panels are muscular to the point of excess, which, in a GT500, is precisely the correct amount. The rear end is where Ford made their confidence statement. A full-width LED tail lamp graphic, unique to the GT500, not shared with any other Mustang variant, runs the entire width of the car in a single illuminated bar, bisected at the center by the Shelby GT500 badging in raised metal lettering. Below it, the rear diffuser is a functional carbon fiber component with integrated strakes that manage underbody airflow and contribute to the car's high-speed stability package. And sitting between them, emerging from a center exit exhaust system that makes a sound we will describe in detail in a moment, are 4 exhaust outlets, each one large enough to be genuinely slightly alarming. The wheel options run from 19-inch forged aluminum in a 10-spoke design to 20-inch carbon fiber reinforced wheels, available only on the carbon fiber track pack, that save unsprung weight at a level that makes a measurable difference in steering response and ride quality simultaneously. Tire spec is Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R all around, a semi-slick compound that requires warm-up in cold conditions and returns performance in warm conditions that blurs the line between road car and race car. The color palette includes 3 new additions for 2027: Antimatter Gray, a dark metallic with a blue flip that shows itself in direct sunlight; Rapid Red Metallic, which Ford has used before but never on a car that deserves it this much; and a new Racing Gold, a matte-adjacent warm metallic that looks unlike anything in the American muscle car space and makes the carbon fiber accents read almost black by contrast. Every color looks correct on this car. Racing Gold looks like a statement. Open the driver's door, wide, heavy, closing with the satisfying solidity of a car that knows it costs 6 figures, and the interior of the 2027 GT500 makes exactly the right impression, which is to say, it doesn't try to make an impression at all. It tries to function, and it does so with a directness and a precision that feels deeply specifically right for what this car is. The seat is a Recaro unit, a racing-derived shell construction with integrated headrest and side bolsters aggressively shaped to hold a human body in place under lateral forces that would unseat a lesser chair. It is firm, deliberately firm, because this is not a car for slouching. The moment you sit in it, spine aligned, hands at 9 and 3, you understand that the car has a posture and it expects you to match it. The steering wheel is a flat-bottom unit in Alcantara and leather, diameter slightly reduced from the standard Mustang wheel, giving it a go-kart directness in the hands that communicates chassis behavior with a fidelity bordering on uncomfortable in certain situations and intoxicating in others. Mounted on the wheel are paddle shifters in solid aluminum, thick, satisfying to actuate, sending commands to the transmission with 0 perceptible delay. The instrument cluster is a fully digital 12-inch display running Ford's Performance Drive interface, a layout developed specifically for track use that prioritizes the information a performance driver needs and removes everything they don't. At the top of the screen, occupying a position of prominence, a real-time torque output bar graph updates continuously, showing not just current power delivery, but the shape of the power curve as the engine moves through its rev range. It is addictive to watch. It is more addictive to cause. The center stack carries a 15-inch touchscreen running Ford's Sync 5 interface, comprehensive, fast, and largely irrelevant once you've engaged one of the GT500's performance drive modes, at which point the display reconfigures to show G-force metering, lap timing, braking zone data, and a live readout of the active exhaust valve position. A dedicated GT500 performance display submenu lets drivers review run data after the fact, acceleration figures, braking distances, lateral G-peaks, with a granularity that would have required a professional data logger to access 5 years ago. The cabin materials are premium throughout. Alcantara headliner, leather and Alcantara seat inserts, carbon fiber accents on the dash and door panels that are not decorative but structural, carried over from the chassis architecture below. Red contrast stitching runs throughout every soft surface. GT500 badging appears on the headrests, the door sills, and on a plaque mounted to the dashboard that carries the engine's serial number, a detail that turns the interior into a documentation of the specific car you are sitting in. And now, the engine, the reason this car exists.
And now, the engine. The reason this car exists. The reason you're still watching. The reason Ford's engineers reportedly celebrated with considerably more enthusiasm than corporate press releases typically suggest when the dyno sheet came back showing the number they'd been chasing for 3 years. 800 horsepower, 770 pound-feet of torque from a 5.2-liter flat-plane crank V8, the same engine architecture that made the previous GT500 supercharged unit legendary, now breathing through a fourth-generation Eaton TVS supercharger, running higher boost pressure, revised intercooling, and a thermal management system so comprehensive it has its own subsystem designation in the engineering documentation. The flat-plane crank is what separates this engine from almost every other American V8 in existence. Conventional American V8s use a cross-plane crankshaft, smooth, torquey at low revs, and producing the iconic burbling soundtrack that defined muscle cars for half a century. The flat-plane crank fires differently. The exhaust pulses don't interfere with each other in the same way, allowing the engine to breathe more freely at high revs and producing an exhaust note that is less burble and more scream. A high-frequency, operatic, borderline aggressive sound that builds from a deep bark at idle to something that physically vibrates your sternum at full throttle and has been described by automotive journalists who've driven the car as the best noise currently available from any production vehicle at any price. Add a supercharger spinning at over 20,000 RPM on top of that flat plane note, and the combined sound is something that defies clean description. It needs to be heard. When you hear it for the first time, really hear it, at full throttle and second gear, at the point where the supercharger whine peaks and the exhaust system opens fully, the word that comes to mind is not fast, it is not powerful, it is inevitable. The transmission is a Tremec 7-speed dual-clutch unit, not a manual. A decision Ford made after extensive testing demonstrated that no manual gearbox available could handle peak torque delivery from this engine with sufficient durability under track use. The DCT shifts in under 80 milliseconds in sport mode and under 50 in track mode, faster than human perception of a shift event, meaning the rev drops between gears are so brief the power delivery feels continuous rather than interrupted. The launch control system manages wheel span off the line with an aggression that is adjustable across 5 sensitivity settings, from street-appropriate traction management to track setting that allows enough slip to be spectacular without being dangerous. 0 to 60 miles per hour arrives in 2.8 seconds, the quarter mile in 10.4. Top speed is electronically governed to 180 miles per hour on standard builds, lifted to an unrestricted figure on the carbon fiber track pack with the optional speed limiter delete, a dealer-installed calibration that Ford declines to publish a top speed figure for. The test driver who went quiet on the radio in Arizona was running an unrestricted prototype. Ford has confirmed only that the figure exceeded expectations. The internet has speculated with considerable enthusiasm. The braking system is a Brembo carbon ceramic setup on the carbon fiber track pack, 6-piston monoblock front calipers in a grabber blue finish, gripping 420mm rotors, 4-piston rears on 380mm discs. Cold bite is improved over previous ceramic installations by a revised pad compound that reaches operating temperature faster. a detail that matters at track days, where the first corner of the first lap is often the most demanding. Stopping from 100 miles per hour in a distance that makes passengers instinctively reach for something to hold on to is this braking system's default behavior. The MagneRide 4.0 suspension system, Ford's most advanced magneto-rheological damper setup, runs through the full chassis, reading road surface input at a rate of 1,000 times per second and adjusting damper resistance continuously. The result is a car that rides with genuine compliance in comfort mode, not soft, never soft, but absorbent enough for daily use without the punishment that previous generation GT500s inflicted on rough urban roads, and transforms in track mode into something so rigidly connected to the tarmac that turn-in feels telepathic. The active exhaust system gives this car a social setting, which is the correct term for a system that determines how much noise your neighbors are subjected to. Quiet mode, available via a button on the center console or programmable to activate below a set speed or time of day, routes exhaust gases through additional baffling and keeps the volume within the bounds of suburban decency. It is, frankly, impressive engineering in service of an outcome that represents a small sacrifice of character for the sake of coexistence. Normal mode opens things up. Sport mode opens them further. Track mode removes the last trace of restraint entirely and allows the GT500 to be exactly as loud as 800 horsepower deserves to be, which is very loud, gloriously, unapologetically, absolutely correctly very loud. Pricing for the 2027 Mustang Shelby GT500 opens at $94,000 in base configuration, a figure that represents genuine value against the European performance cars it now legitimately competes with on lap times. The carbon fiber track pack, which adds the carbon wheels, carbon exterior components, ceramic brakes, upgraded cooling, and the speed limiter delete calibration, pushes the as-tested figure toward $128,000. Options including the painted racing stripes, the premium interior package with suede headliner and carbon sill plates, and the extended track data logging system can carry a well-specified build to the edge of $140,000. For what is delivered, the price is the least surprising thing about this car. You are buying into 60 years of Shelby legend, a powertrain that will be studied in engineering schools, a soundtrack that will outlive every other memory of every road trip you take it on, and a feeling, specific, American, irreplaceable, of sitting on top of something that was built with the clear, uncomplicated intention of being the best and most dangerous version of itself that it could possibly be. Muscle cars have been declared dead before. Emissions regulations were going to end them. Electric vehicles were going to make them irrelevant. The market was going to move on. The culture was going to evolve. And the era of the big-engined, rear-wheel drive, supercharged American bruiser was going to quietly close like a chapter in a book that nobody needed to read anymore. Ford has read that obituary, and they have responded in the most Ford way imaginable, by building something so fast, so loud, so unapologetically specifically itself that the argument stops making sense. The 2027 Mustang Shelby GT500 is not a farewell. It is not a last hurrah. It is a statement delivered at 800 horsepower and 180 miles per hour that the American muscle car is not finished. It is not evolving into something quieter and more reasonable. It is not making peace with the future. It is looking the future directly in the eye and planting the throttle. The supercharger spins, the flat plane crank fires, the tires find and lose and find their grip again, and somewhere on an empty road at the end of a long straight, the GT500 does what it was built to do. It makes the world feel smaller, faster, louder, and considerably more alive than it was 10 seconds ago. Some things are worth keeping. Some sounds are worth protecting. Some cars exist not because the market demanded them, but because the people who built them refused to imagine a world without them. This is one of those cars. Long may it run.